what's it called? Sunday League Effect. It's my podcast. I'm getting it wrong. Hello and welcome back to the Sunday League Effect. I am with my good friend Nick today, who's decided to not leave me in the lurch. To be fair, he didn't know that he was meant to be on it, so
yeah.
I say he left me in the lurch. He didn't really, but thanks for gracing us with your presence, mate.
That's no problem at all.
How are you?
I'm alright actually. It's been a hectic weekend. Obviously working, things like that. But looking forward to today, really.
Yeah, awesome. Obviously you're a Watford fan. Well, not obviously, but Nick's a Watford fan.
I am.
Still unbeaten?
No, we did
you lose?
Yeah, so backman own goal. Second minute.
Really?
Yeah.
What did it finish 1-0?
1-0, yeah.
I thought you were winning.
No, to be honest, we were dominating that game. I mean, Cleverley's come out and said that, you know, we've finally met a team that's done the basics better than we have. For a Watford manager to come out and openly admit.
It was nice to have a Watford manager long enough to say his last name.
All right. We're not Chelsea, are we?
Who'd you play?
Sheffield United.
Oh, okay. And they've obviously just come down, so.
Yeah, so I mean, they're always going to be a solid team.
You're a manager, right? Chris Ward?
Yeah.
He's back at Sheffield United now, isn't he? Is he still there, or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they haven't got rid of him.
He was dreadful at you. He's been dreadful at a lot of places, to be honest.
It's one of those though with Watford. You never know if they're going to be dreadful because they don't get enough time. I mean, prime example is obviously Liverpool's manager Rob Edwards.
Yeah.
But then saying that, actually, Rob Edwards, since he's come back into the Championship,
struggled. They haven't won yet, are they?
No, they're bottom of the table.
Yeah, they're not doing well. But I think Watford's problem's been for the last 10 years is that the fans want the board wants instant success, and that's got to be relative to who you are.
Yeah.
Like you had that one really good season where you got to the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Who was your manager then? I don't even.
That was I can't remember his name now.
It was one of the Spanish guys, wasn't it?
Yes.
You had so many, mate. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to keep on track of any of them, to be fair. But yeah, because we. Oh, do you know what though? Saying that we had a good season, I kind of disagree. We did well.
We got to FA Cup final.
We got to
a
major
final.
But at the same time, we didn't look like an FA Cup final team in the last bit because we're playing against Man City. And I mean, to be honest, I don't even think there's many Premier League teams that are capable of beating Man City.
Not when they want to turn up and play like that.
No, I mean you've got players like Phil Foden coming up. He's doing really well, and then you've got Haaland.
Oh yeah, nowadays, yeah.
Unstoppable. Yeah. I mean,
we'll get onto him in a bit because there's a stat that's been thrown around. That was before his hat trick at the weekend against West Ham.
Yeah.
So before then, we'll get into it later.
They all know that you're a West Ham fan, right?
Yeah. Well, I'd say they all four of them. Yeah. They know I'm a West Ham fan. For my sins. We may as well dive straight into the big talking point of the weekend, which is probably Declan Rice's sending off.
Yeah, first one as well.
Yeah, first one.
That's what you guys did.
See, that's what happens. You leave West Ham, you turn into some cheater. But anyway, what did you think of it? Did you think it was a justifiable double yellow, red card, or what? I mean, it's talking point everywhere.
To be honest, you kick the ball away, you're always going to get yellow cards.
Yeah.
It didn't help that he was already on the yellow.
His first tackle was horrendous as well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Do I think he was lucky to get away with a red? Probably not.
It's probably
it was a yellow. I mean, if there was a middle ground between a yellow and a red,
yeah, like an orange.
Yeah, he probably would have been that. But then, I mean, to kick the ball away when you're on a yellow, no matter what sort of he's come out with, or what excuse Arteta has come out with, you don't do it.
Yeah,
that's it. Everybody knows that rule. It's been a rule for years. And he's still done it.
There's a couple of oddities about it because obviously he's an established Premier League player. He's an English Premier League player. And refs quite often are lenient towards national players. Like you see it a lot. They'll get away with things like that. They'll get away with the little trips off the ball and second yellows like that. Because it is, although like I said earlier today, it is letter of the law a yellow card. It's still harsh. It's so harsh.
It's harsh because it's a second.
Yeah, and I think this is where you're never going to get football being perfect. You're always going to have mistakes because what you want the referee to do there is go, right, let me look at the wider scope of the game. where's Veltman passing that ball to? He's not. There's no one up the pitch for Brighton. So he's going to hoof it. He's only going to hoof it to either. But he's not even doing it. I think he's doing it to hit Rice to get him yellow carded for standing in front of the ball. So you got that, and then you've also got on top of the fact that he's missed the ball and he's knee high on Declan Rice. So is that a dangerous? Is that dangerous play?
That is another thing, but then it's hard because obviously the referee only sees it from one angle.
Yeah.
With yellow cards, we know VAR won't get involved. Do I think that's right when it comes to a second yellow? Maybe not, but at the same time, you're dialing in the game too much by delving too deep into second yellows and things like that. Eventually, the game would just be 90 minutes long, but you're stopping every 10 minutes for VR to check whether that was bad enough or anything.
Yeah. So I'd personally say it is just about justifiable. I can see why so many Arsenal fans are annoyed about it, and I can see why Declan Rice's camp will be annoyed about it. At the same time, he's an idiot for doing it. I think Veltman should have been punished as well. I don't know what the laws are in terms of VAR, whether they can even look at that, because it's part of the yellow card. Declan Rice off. I don't know where we draw the line.
I think if they would have looked at that, they would have had to look at the whole the incident as a whole. And I think because it's the second yellow, they've just gone, no, we won't. And whether that's right or wrong, that is what I feel they have done. They've just gone, okay, second yellow is kick the ball away or the ball, whatever.
Yeah, they can't do both.
They can't do both because otherwise it would be VAR analysing every minute of the game, which they should be doing anyway, but then analysing every break in play.
Yeah, which they can't do.
No, because then you're going to have them do it for throw-ins to, is it Arsenal, is it Brighton? You wouldn't know, and there's no point.
It becomes too wishy-washy, yeah.
You're just boring the game.
As much as a West Ham fan likes to see Declan Rice getting sent off because he left us in the lurch, it would have been nice for Brighton to kind of get a win, but then it would have been tainted by this.
Yeah, so I think you would have obviously a lot of Arsenal fans and probably some football fans as well. Arsenal obviously more because they're biased towards them, but you would have people going, well,
it wouldn't have happened if
it wouldn't have happened if
Veltman should have been on. Yeah. It's like he's been in the Premier League now for 11 years. Like he should know better.
He should know better,
and he does. So I think that's why the frustration is obviously going to come out from him as well, because he's not, for me. And again, this is slightly biased. For me, he's not as crucial to Arsenal's team as what
he was for West Ham.
Yeah, definitely not what he was for West Ham. Even what he was last year. If you looked back to last season, Arsenal was better when Jorginho came in next to Rice, because Rice can't do the job that he was being asked to do without Jorginho. That he can't do the sweeping role. He's not good enough at it. So I think he will. I'm not going to say he'll struggle to get back into the team, because he's not going to struggle to get back into the team, but I can definitely see in the next 3 or 4 seasons, 2, 3 seasons,
they become more of a squad player.
Yeah, Arteta looking, or whoever's there, looking to get improvements on him because of what he lacks. And little things like the petulant side of him that may or may not have come out in this game, it's only going to work negatively towards him.
And we know what Arteta's like with that.
Yeah.
Arteta won't take star boys being like...
Well, it doesn't take any passengers.
No.
And he'll get someone else in that can do what he wants better if it becomes a liability. Which I don't think he will. I think he'll come back and it'll be fine. But
he's also got a $100 million price tag.
Yeah, which is a massive issue. But then saying that, they bought Pepe for 80 million, and where's he playing now? I watched the Everton Bournemouth game, so I was like, right, Everton have to win. Bournemouth are a decent team going forward. I was like, this has got to be a good game. It's got to be a good game. Got to half time, and it was the worst game of football I've ever watched in my life. It was so bad.
I did notice it in the highlights. There was not a lot of the first half.
I fell asleep at half time. I woke up about 68 minutes, 78 minutes. Everyone were 2-0. I was like,
missed both the goals.
So I said to Mel, because she was in there with me, I was like, well, the goal's good. She was like, I didn't see him. Awesome. Thinking they're just going to ride this out all over Bournemouth from whenever I woke up to the last 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Then they got one, just a cross, and my son came in. Jamie came in. I was like, watch this. They're gonna throw this away. Equalised, and then from the moment they equalised, they had Everton pinned back. I've never seen a capitulation like it. West Ham have lost leads before.
Yeah.
Unceremonious leads. I've seen obviously I grew up supporting Celtic, but I've seen Celtic throw away leads before. But I've never seen anything like this. The capitulation is just unfathomable. the amount of pressure that they put Bournemouth under for the first 80 minutes, 85 minutes. Bournemouth won, and again, they had one shot up until their first goal went in. And it was just dreadful. This leads into what I was saying last week. Sean Dyche is going to go, and Everton are going to finish like rock bottom. The only saving grace is that Southampton are piss poor.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they won't finish bottom of this league.
But Everton never get relegated.
I guarantee it this year they will. I have no doubt in my mind. They are so bad.
You think they're going to finish?
They haven't even got any good players.
I get that, but somehow, in some sick way, Everton always scrape by.
Oh, I can't see it.
Always do it.
I can't see it.
But you've got to imagine that, yes, they might be piss poor.
Yeah.
But they only have to be better than the bottom three.
Yeah. But who's worse than them?
It's hard.
Okay, well, you got to take this into account as well. So all the teams that have come promoted are naturally going to be favourites to go down for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's the way the Premier League goes nowadays.
Absolutely.
But you have to take into effect Ipswich have played arguably the two best teams in England, and then got a very good point at home to Fulham. They need to be winning that game, but it's a good point. Was it Fulham?
Yeah,
I think it's Fulham. It's a good point. They drew at the weekend, regardless whoever they were playing. That's a good point. Southampton have lost all 3 games, and they've got worse with every game.
Yeah.
Leicester have the know-how within their squad because they've got Premier League experience in Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Even their manager.
Jamie Vardy's old now.
He's about 47.
Saying that though, he did have a great game last weekend, I think it was.
Yeah, when he scored against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Well, the first weekend.
Yeah. Which was nice to sort of see him because I feel like he became a bit of a squad player when they were last before they got
you
relegated.
would have seen more of it. You would have seen more of him than me in the Championship as well. I don't think he was starting a lot of games towards the beginning of the season.
No, towards the end he seemed to sort of come out a little bit more.
Well, that was Enzo as well, Maresca. So
yeah,
he likes his youth. But I can't see. There is no way in my mind that Everton get more points than Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester. This is 3 teams. I can't see him getting more points than Forest will be down there. I can't see him getting more points. I would have said Brentford beginning of the season, but they're looking alright. Palace haven't looked very good so far this season, but it's very early on.
I think that I sometimes think that Palace can always seem like that. Like they always seem to start a little bit slower.
Yeah, well, last season they won 6 out of the last 7 games. They was the most informed team in England, and I was expecting to see them rock up this year. Yes, they've lost Elise and they've lost Anderson, their centre back. But I was expecting they kept hold they kept hold of Eze, who is if not
that surprised me as well.
Yeah, considering the £60 million buyout clause that expired, I think 1st of August.
Yeah,
and no one came in. It was baffling. I can't.
It's probably only been Chelsea.
I think Tottenham were looking at him, but I think he'd walk into a lot of.
I think he would. I mean, you look at how, although he wasn't used much in the Euros,
he should have been. He definitely should have been.
I mean, yeah, but
we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Sensitive subject.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when he did come on, you can see that he sort of merged almost straight into the team, and he made them better.
Well, he makes stuff happen, doesn't he? One of those players. Well, this leads into actually what I wanted to talk about on this pod. You just reminded me is that football nowadays is so stagnant and boring because of one man. Pep Guardiola has ruined football, and I understand that that's going to upset so many people. Yes, tiki-taka football is wonderful in terms of its football in its purest form, but the person that got you off your seat, or the person that made you fall in love with football, or the person that made you want to go and start playing football, was someone that took on 3 players, lost it sometimes, scored sometimes. Absolutely. Don't care what anyone says. That's why you fell in love with football. So players like Messi, not only will no one ever be that good again because of how good he was, but players that made a career out of beating 4 players,
taking on players
and scoring. Ronaldo at his peak when he was at United in the early years. Ronaldinho, JJ Okocha, Rivaldo, Kaká, Neymar. All these players, they no longer exist. You name me a player that's like Eze is nowadays, or Kudus for West Ham. I'm going to throw a West Ham player, and of course I am. Even Morgan Rogers at Villa. They're all players that like to run at people, and they're a dying breed. Like Jack Grealish should be England's biggest player. Yeah. Because of how good he is on the ball, but because he's gone to Man City and Peps stifled him. Yeah. Well, I saw an interview where he said it was something along the lines of pass, no dribble, and it was like a conversation he was having with him, and it was like it's so dull. It's dull.
That is boring, and the mad thing is that people who may not be as into the sort of football that we get to watch on a weekly basis like so, more international fans, things like that, they see Man City win all the time, and I'm not saying that people who support Man City are only in it because they win all the time.
I am. They 100% are.
Okay, well, but what I mean is, like, international fans will now support Man City, whereas they used to support United,
Yeah, well,
and that's because they win all the
a
time.
lot of Americans support Man City.
Yeah,
and it's because they win all the time, like you say, and because they have a lot. Well, they've got links to New York City.
Yeah.
Whatever they're called. No, not Jets. The New York City team, whatever it's called. They play in blue as well. Maybe this might not be New York City. But yeah, no, you're right. And and I don't like to say they bought success, but they have. They bought success.
Yeah.
And with that, they bought the best manager with the best tactics, and then they bought all the best players, and then with that, they've just ruined football. Man City, I have no doubt in my mind, will win the league this year, and they'll piss it. They'll win it by about 6-7 points, and it'll only be that small because they decide not to play for a month.
Yeah.
They'll just won't turn up. They'll lose to someone like Palace.
Oh, and it always seems to be Palace or they draw with Tottenham.
Yeah, something like that. And
they love doing it.
I genuinely can't watch Man City play. I hate watching Man City play.
The last time I watched a Man City game was a while ago. It was last season, and I remember falling asleep. But the game finished like 4 or 5-2 or something like that, and I thought any other team plays to that scoreline. It's a good game. It's exhilarating. Seeing Man City score 5 or 6,
you know what's going to happen.
Standard. It just happens.
Haaland's going to get another free air. The bloke's a robot. He's not real. I said it. He was built in a lab.
Do you know what
I said it last week.
In Rocky.
Yeah.
Drago.
Yeah. 100%.
That is what he is.
Yeah.
Because in the film, Drago comes in and he's just
perfect.
Yeah, he's the perfect boxer.
If you could create a footballer, I said this last week, you'd create Erling Haaland.
Yeah, he's tall, he's quick, and he can score goals.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair. They made 36 million for him.
Yeah.
36 million for a man that's got 8 hat-tricks and 69 games in the Premier League. That's like 4th in the all-time hat-tricks in the Premier League. Behind Aguero, Fowler, Shearer.
Do it at Southampton, though.
Well, this Southampton team, I don't think you could.
No. But, I mean, Haaland is a fantastic player. Like you say, he's built for football. Like, if he didn't play football, I don't know what he'd do in life.
Probably anything he wanted. He'd probably be wicked at that as well.
He'd
probably be a really good lawyer.
I bet he'd play rugby really well as well. He's just big.
I mean, it's one of those kids that just everything. He learned to write at the age of 2 months.
Yeah.
Just picked up a pen, was like, yes.
He was speaking 5 languages. I do think that he is very, very good. I have no doubt that he will become one of the record breakers for most records in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I do think that success is built around the fact that he is within a star-studded team.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it's the same argument that could go for, or Pep can only do it at clubs that have money, or Messi only did it at Barcelona because he had Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, Ronaldinho. He had all the best players around him, and yes, to a certain degree, that is factual, but you still need to produce the numbers.
Of course, and he can still do it.
Like facts don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, he can still do it, and that's great. It's just, it seems like the Premier, which is crazy considering the Premier League's the best league in the world. Supposedly. Well, it's got some of the best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean is, like, what's his challenge? He doesn't seem to be challenged here. And I would like to see him come up against someone that he can't beat. That would make it more exciting.
Well, he does go missing in the big games, like the likes of Liverpool. Van Dijk always seems to have him pretty much under wraps.
But
against Real Madrid in the Champions League last year, he didn't get much out of Rudiger.
No.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Premier League wise, okay, so one team.
Yeah, can stop him. Oh, I think so. I think he's unreal.
He's amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
And he's boring.
It is boring.
Cool. You can score a hat trick. You've done loads of them, mate.
Yeah, him and Pep are just both. They're just a match made in heaven. They're both boring.
Yeah, I would like to see him do that for Watford. Come to Watford.
Yeah, of course you would.
Well, yeah, of course I would. Come to Watford. Show me you can do that.
Well, it's mad to think that at the beginning of the season I had Isak as my top goal scorer. I thought he'd do him this year, and he's got 7 goals in 3 games. Actually, no, he's got more than that. He's got 2 hat tricks, and 7 goals in 3 games. That's mental. That's like if someone does that Sunday league, you're like, fucking hell, you get hold of their new striker. You've been bagging them. This is just jumping on to the Erling Haaland tugboat. Yeah, for want of a better expression.
Please, find one.
Obviously, we played them at the weekend. 3-1. Same scoreline as what we had last year against them.
Yeah.
But speaking from a West Ham fans' perspective, it was so much better to watch. Like the second half, we actually created chances. We got onto the ball. We did get onto them a little bit. Aside from the mistake in the first half, which gave Erling Haaland the goal, we didn't do a whole lot wrong. And against arguably the best team in the world, losing 3-1, creating chances, and we had moments in the game where we were the better team, is all I can ask for.
To be honest, like coming up against a team like Man City, like so Watford, we've got next in the EFL Cup.
No, we've got Liverpool away.
We've got Man City away. With it in the Championship.
It's mental. Why have they done that stupid draw?
Oh, we'll get onto that in a minute, but I'll let you carry on about the West Ham. So obviously, I watched the highlights of the West Ham game, and like you said, to be honest, for a team that last year sort of not failed to succeed at anything. I mean, you didn't get anything, but what I mean is like you just failed to shine.
We was a damn squid last week. Year. Like we fell off by Christmas time. Everyone had their flip flops on. So Moyes was going, and half the team was going. No one cared anymore.
And you just everyone stopped playing, and you sort of went down from there. But to then come back into this season, I mean, I don't follow obviously West Ham, so I'm not sure how well you are doing overall. But to then show up against a Man City team as strong as they are, and actually, like you say, in some parts of the game look better than them, it's good to see. Because I don't want to see Man City dominate every team.
Man City play against the low block every other week. Every team in the Premier League is scared to go. Even Arsenal are scared to go at Man City. They're the biggest rivals. So if you can't bridge the gap, then it's a free swing. So you may as well use it as a free swing. You might go out and get beat 4, 5, 6, but I can guarantee you, the fans of any club in the Premier League wants to see you try and have a go, rather than paying hundreds of pounds to go and watch you sit back and just give them the ball, back, just clear it and give them the ball back.
No one wants to see Moyes ball being played. Even dicey ball.
Do you know what? I've got a lot of respect for Moyes because of where he took us from and where he brought us to.
Yeah, I mean, you've got European success.
I'll never take that away from him at all. I said at the beginning of last season, I said he should have gone then because he's already. There's no topping what he'd already done.
He had his success.
Yeah, he wasn't ever going to get us back into Europe with a wafer thin squad that we had.
Yeah,
you weren't ever going to challenge enough, and you weren't going to bring on the style enough in a year for the fans to be fully behind you because they never were. No. And the way that he left was a bit. I would have preferred it to be done a little bit better. Like I felt like he was sort of thrown to the wolves, and now the board's talking about him, and he's talking about the board, and there's this bit of like to and fro. Like it's very professional still,
but it seemed a bit petty.
Yeah, it's just like and then he's talking about the fans, and then you got Karen Brady talking about the fans. What? The season's about to start. Like you need to go in and have your fans behind you. Not only have you fucked up with the concessions, you're now slating us for not being fully behind him. And it creates this toxic environment that lives in certain clubs in the Premier League, and West Ham's definitely one of them. Everton's one of them, and there's other clubs that just constantly have the feel good vibe, and they're just loving being in the Premier League. Like I seem to think like Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got like Michael B. Jordan as a stakeholder, Shaquille O'Neal as a stakeholder, LeBron James. I think they got loads of these American guys coming in, and the stadium only holds like 7,000. It's not that much. It's a bit more than that, but it's like it's not.
I know what you're saying.
You shouldn't even be in the Premier League, and you've got all these established people coming in, and it just feels like a good time club.
It's like Wrexham, though, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
You know, with Ipswich fans, it's always.
There's never an expectation to
go.
No,
to be honest, with most championships, like fans, I don't know how many of them actually ever expect to go up.
Apart from the likes of Leeds and Southampton and Leicester, to be honest, last year, they all expected to go back up.
You'll always have the sort of main teams, like you have in the Premier League, that are expected to go back up. How competitive the Championship is, you don't always know.
Well, there's always one that sneaks in. Like Coventry got to the playoff final the year before. Ipswich went up this year.
Luton went up last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they had promotions,
Yeah.
and then
They had a couple of seasons in the Championship, didn't they?
yeah, so they
Yeah,
got
Rob Edwards
consecutively
came.
up, stayed in the Championship, got better, took our manager.
Didn't take your manager. You
Okay.
sacked your manager, and he came in and done a good job.
Yeah, I mean, he only went there because he hated us. That's what it was.
Yeah,
But I don't
sure.
blame him. Like, we released a statement, our owners released a statement saying that we're going to give him a chance. We're going to give him a chance.
Who'd you take him out of? Didn't you take him out of like a non-league team, like Forest Green or something?
It was Forest Green. He just got promoted to
Yeah.
Forest Green, and then he went behind Forest Green's back.
It was a massive payment though. It was like 2 million or something stupid. It was massive. You paid like for their subs.
Yeah.
Subs paid for their wages like 2 years. Anyway, going back to the Premier, I don't want to talk about the Championship anymore.
Why? Championship's more exciting.
To be fair, it is. I watched for some reason. I've watched loads of Leeds games this year. I think it's because when we went on holiday up north, it was just on like every week.
And now that you've got obviously Sky Sports draining everybody else,
Yeah.
the Sky Sports Plus, that now you can watch more.
You watch every single game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you think will come up this year then? Early days. I know you're only a week ahead, but
Honestly, couldn't say. I think from the squads from the teams I've seen, I mean, to be honest, I'd like to see Watford go up. I think the way that we've been playing this season, keeping cleverly.
do you not think we're a bit too soon for him? So early on in his managerial.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him turn into like a Rooney or a Lampard.
Well, Lampard's the person I had in my mind. Like he did it at Derby, almost got promoted, then he jumped ship to Chelsea, and now he's ruined his
He went to
managerial
Chelsea
career.
twice, well, didn't he?
Yeah, he went back as interim last year.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't last year. It was
No,
year
year
before.
before. But
It's funny, isn't it? Our football, our managers. You just assume that these players that were elite are going to be good managers, and none of them are. Like Gerrard went to Rangers and he did a good job at Rangers. He won the Premier League, stopped so he won in 10 in a row. Anyone could have done that. Went to Villa, and I thought that's a great appointment for Villa. And everyone thought. I remember when he got sacked from Villa. We was a lot of people, maybe not Villa fans. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a bit harsh."
yeah.
Then Emery came in, and look at the job that he did. He got them from
relegation.
fodder to 5th or 6th.
Yeah, well,
Or seventh.
European.
There was just there was in conference. Yeah, so it would have been 7th, and then up to 4th. I'm like, yeah, Gerrard, mate, you are a waste man.
How did you do that?
Same, it was the same with Lampard. I remember Lampard when he came into Chelsea. First of all, that was when they had their they had a ban, so they couldn't sign any players.
Yeah.
So he done okay. I thought he finished outside of Europe. I think
He did okay with what he had.
Yeah, we thought, but then they got rid of him and they got in Tuchel.
Yeah.
And then Tuchel come in and won the FA Cup or won the Champions League or something stupid with him. He was like, yeah, Lampard, you suck.
Yeah.
He'd leave.
And they still brought him back though.
Yeah,
That's what I don't
they
get.
brought him back because he was just on interim. They wanted someone cheap and they could give him what he wanted. How's old Fat Boy doing with Plymouth? I know he started very badly.
I mean, we
Old Wazza.
didn't treat him nicely when we.
Did you
went
beat
there.
him?
Yeah.
What's the score?
1-0.
Oh my god, he's so bad. Why is he so bad?
Tom Hinton's got a hat trick.
Oh mate, why is he so bad? Has he still got a job?
Yeah, he's still there.
Because he got sacked from Birmingham, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's sacked from every job. Apart from, I don't know if he got sacked from DC United, but
I think he left DC United to come back to England for Derby, didn't he?
Was he at Derby? Oh yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, Troy Deeney went to Forest Green.
He's a melt, that man. He does my Sweden.
Did he?
Oh, when he's talking, he's just he genuinely thinks that he's like an elite footballer.
I love it. I love his attitude. But that attitude is what Watford is missing. But we don't have a solid player enough now that I think can lead the team. I mean, we've got Sissoko, who?
Who's
Sissoko?
Has he come back?
Yeah.
Well, the one that went to Newcastle.
I don't know if he went to Newcastle.
Musa Sissoko, the like 40-year-old.
The one from Tottenham.
Yeah, you had him before, didn't you?
Yeah.
I swear he went to Newcastle.
I don't think he went to Newcastle. I don't think he went to a Prem team.
But he was at Tottenham.
Yeah, no, but he was at Tottenham before.
Yeah.
Came to us.
Yeah.
Went somewhere.
No, he was. He definitely was.
Double check that, 'cause
I want to double check that quickly.
Yeah, he's back with us.
Musa Sissoko.
He scored our winning goal over there.
He's about 90.
He's still scoring.
He's about 90. Well, how old is he?
He's
Where's
34.
career? Oh, look, what's this? I can't even look at it. He's 35. Why is he still playing?
Okay.
Where else has he been? Wait. He's at Watford. Yeah, Newcastle. Newcastle, Tottenham,
Newcastle?
Watford, Nantes, Watford.
Oh yeah, so no.
I knew he was at Newcastle.
I mean, where is your biggest strength?
Well, West Ham?
Yeah.
That is a good question. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything here. No, there's not.
Weirdly.
Our biggest strength is probably out wide. Owen, Kudus, Somerville.
So
Yeah, 100%. He isn't even playing our best centre. We signed to Debo, and he's still playing Mavropanos, and I don't know why. I can't see it. I don't know. There's one. I'm hoping to see Tadibo come in after the national break because I'm getting a little bit concerned as why you're sticking with him when he was a liability last year. Yeah. Max Kilman looks really good. He looks solid. I rated the signing when we got him. Midfield looks okay. Going forward, we're always going to score goals, but he needs to also drop Antonio because that man is a waste of space at the minute. I could do a better job up front, and I've got half a hip. Half a hip, yeah.
But do you think that Antonio is being played on his past?
100%. Antonio's still good for a performance. Bless you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, he's good for a performance. So a player like Antonio, you play and you hope that he plays to his maximum.
Yeah.
And he doesn't for 17 games in a row. But that one game, that 18th, he'll score a hat-trick or he'll just give the defender absolute hell.
Okay. Yeah, and then they'll be like, see, he's really good, and they'll bring him back.
But the worst thing is, as a fan, I do it all the time. Antonio will play really well for like 2 games. I'll be like, yeah, that's why he's playing. But he'll play well, and then you forget instantly. Same as any fan, really. You forget instantly how bad they've been for however long.
Yeah.
It's that one game, especially someone at his age now. Because he's 34. He's only a year younger than Sissoko.
Yeah.
And you think, yeah, great, he's rolled back the years, but then he goes missing. Like he's just out of position all the time.
I did notice that actually.
He's just
a few games. It's like last season I noticed.
Yeah, he pulls out wide. And I know Lopetegui has asked him to come out wide, or Bowen's asked him to come out wide at times to swap with him. But I'm just like, we need a number 9. You bought a number 9. You bought Fulkrug, who is an out-and-out old-fashioned centre forward. Give him some minutes and let's see if he can get goals because I guarantee you he will. He'll be in the positions that Antonio isn't.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see the new players coming in. Like, yes, I understand you want to bed them in. I understand that we had a lot of change.
Adjust to
I do, yeah, I get that. But you're giving him 17 minutes, 24 minutes. You started him against Bournemouth. Yeah, he wasn't very good. 17 minutes. It's not enough.
No. They need to have, especially for the ones that haven't played that much.
Baptism of fire, just fucking throw them in.
Yeah.
They ain't got it. But you'll find out sooner than giving them bit part minutes here and there.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to keep them for the whole season. And then by the end of the season, they've played 120 minutes in total.
Exactly.
And you don't actually know if they're any good.
I've said this a million times, I'll say it again. Strikers play on confidence. Yeah. Period. So you could be an average striker with your confidence up here and you'll score and you'll bag and you'll keep scoring until all of a sudden something happens. Like you get a slight knock or you just don't score. Like you miss a dry spell. And then it goes. And then again it will come up. And this is what I was talking about Ollie Watkins last week. Last season he was riding the wave right up here. Mm-hmm. And he was outperforming his ability, in my opinion. So now you've seen a massive drop-off. He hasn't even scored this year. He's not played well in 3 games. Yes, it's early on in the season, I understand that. He hasn't scored, he hasn't played well. John Duran's come in and got 2. By the end of the season, I stand by this and I won't stop saying this. John Duran will be starting over Ollie Watkins by the end of the season.
I'm surprised John Duran's still there.
Yeah, well, he was wanting to come to West Ham.
That's what I mean.
He scored against us and he scored again.
Yeah, that picture, didn't he?
Instagram, yeah. Giving the old eye.
Yeah.
What melt?
But he also did the same thing for Liverpool as well.
I don't know. I don't care. He can just stay up in Brumland.
Not
stupid accent. No. Anyway, moving on. Talking about movement, Salah is off to Saudi. He said something along the lines of, "It's my last season here, so I'm just focusing on my football."
Why?
So he's out of contract at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there's been no communication between the 2 clubs, as far as I'm aware.
Do you reckon he's staying for Klopp?
No, because Klopp left, obviously.
But what I mean is, do you reckon he... Obviously, because he got offered to go to Saudi.
Yeah.
Well, last 2 seasons he's been offered. And he stayed for Klopp. So do you feel that maybe now he's decided I'll give Liverpool 1 more season for the fans and for obviously Klopp's legacy, and then after that, I'm done?
I would have said yes before last season, but there was a lot of, I don't know if you noticed it, there seems to be a lot of tension between Salah and Klopp last year.
I did think that, but I just thought I was like looking into it.
But see, I hadn't really thought too much about it. I thought that he just had enough of Liverpool and he was ready to go and get his bag. And
he'd been offered a
massive
amount of money and he'd be close to time.
Exactly, like you want to cash in, that's fine. If you're in your 20s and you're going to Saudi, now fuck off. Yeah,
You're
that's
wasting
just for the money. You can do that because I'd probably do the same. If I was in that position, I'd probably do the same. But I'm here for the older players going to get their bag at the end of their career. So when Salah wants to go, he can go. So, but going back to him and Klopp last year, I didn't really look much. I noticed it because it was on Match of the Day all the time.
They'd always bring up.
But watching him now playing under Slot, he seems so much happier and content. He hasn't been taken off yet. He's playing like every minute of every game, and he's playing really well. But he looks happy, and I've not seen Mo Salah look that happy in a long time. I might be reading into it too much. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but he looks like he's enjoying his football.
I mean,
maybe it's because it's his swan song. He's ready to go.
I'd be interested to know what Liverpool fans do think of that, because is it just a case of because we're outside of it that we
possibly, because I know a lot of Liverpool fans were saying cash in. Not all of them, but a lot of them were, because it's a lot of money for a 32-year-old who wasn't performing very well. Like there was points his stats still argue a toss with what we're about to say, but for large periods of last season, he was missing in games. He didn't do anywhere near the levels that he was before.
Absolutely, and that's what's strange is obviously, I mean, before Haaland came on the scene of the Premier League, he was like Salah was undisputed for a lot of it. Like there wasn't really anybody else.
Harry Kane, that's it.
I mean, I 100% get where you're going, but Harry Kane did it in Tottenham. Haaland's doing it for Man City. Don't get me wrong.
People forget that Tottenham have been a top 4 team for the last 15 years. They've beaten.
I think they hold on to being a top 4 team. Are they a top 4 team? I don't think so.
No, they're not, but they have been.
It's the same as Chelsea. Chelsea come in as a top 6 club.
But their history says they are.
Okay, history.
Recent history, Chelsea.
Still, look at where they are in the Premier League. Look at how they've been performing. As soon as they got rid of Tuchel, Tuchel got them success, and then they decided, we'll drop him for Graham Potter. That did well, didn't it?
Well, it's a weird club, isn't it? There's a lot of weird and oddities in the club. Anyway, go back to Mo Salah because we're now just
we're just going away to everything now. Mo Salah, I think do your last season, do your swan song, and then go Salah. He hasn't really got anything else to try and go for.
Well, he's won Champions League. He's won the Premier League. He's
Golden
won
Boot.
African Cup of Nations. He's got Golden Boot. Is it African Cup of Nations? Yeah, it is.
No, they lost it, didn't they?
Did he lose it to Mane? He has won it before, hasn't he? But anyway, that's not going to affect. Being a Liverpool isn't going to affect him winning that or not.
No, that's international.
But I think he's ready to go. I think he struggled last year. Now looking back, without the likes of Mane and Firmino, I know there's a lot of friction between him and Mane at times. With they're both trying to outscore each other, but he just I don't know. He just seems a lot happier and a lot more content where he is right now. And the way Liverpool look very, very good. They're for me the closest to Man City right now, and that's easy to say because they won 3 from 3. So he had to do the rebuild. Club had to do the rebuild, whereas Man City have the perpetual cash flow. They just constantly. Well, they just made 80 million off their sub striker. Yeah. And yes, Alvarez is phenomenal, but they paid like 20 million for him. They made They made a 200 and whatever % profit.
Yeah. And Alvarez is a good player.
Alvarez would start for anyone else in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%.
Newcastle for Isak. I genuinely think he'd start in every. Who?
Well, you think that Isak is better than Alvarez?
Yeah, 100%.
But
Isak has all the attributes to be outrageously.
Why isn't he?
Because he's still young.
Well, the thing is, if you put Alvarez into that team, do you then get competition? Where if
Isak is still quality.
Yeah,
every week.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's not quality. But I'm saying that who's his competition?
Callum Wilson. Not an elite striker, but he is a good bagger.
But if you put Alvarez instead of Callum Wilson, do you think Isak would play better?
I'd still choose Isak over him though.
But do you think that he would perform to a much higher standard that he's probably very well capable of, but maybe not doing so much because...
I question whether... Because I hear what you're saying, because what you're saying is like our level of football is like, if I bring in another winger, you're going to up your levels. If you bring another striker, I'm going to up my levels. I don't know if that works the same at the very top. Because if you have levels to get to, why do you need competition to get there? I think the expectation is you're always playing at your maximum.
Well, I mean, Chelsea's quite a prime example.
Yeah,
Every single person is fighting for a place.
They've got like 97 players.
They have an 11-man squad on the field. They have what?
Yeah, that's what football
Yeah,
teams
I had to clarify that. Obviously, I mean, how many subs do they take? Because they can only use
22-man squad, I think.
22 man. They can only use 5. I'm going to be honest. Like, you have to be very confident in your ability to go to Chelsea right now.
Money. You're going for a bag.
Yeah, but
you're going for a payback. But look, Maresca hasn't even got control. Like, it's the weirdest club I've ever known in my life. Like, Chelsea's always been a bit weird. But riddle me this: you get rid of a manager in Poch who's just done the end of it, just finished the season well, struggled with a massive squad. You've given him loads of money, which he's spent. Yeah. He's then starting to get a rhythm out of his team. He then comes to you as a board, as the owner, and goes, "I'm not happy with certain things. I don't want to sell these players. I want these players in. I need your back in." The chairman goes, "No," and gets rid of him. To bring in another manager who's had one senior managerial job, been assistant manager in the Premier League twice, and then seemingly given him full reign. He's let him sign whoever he wants. He's then gone, "Oh, that £50 million Raheem Sterling that we bought on 300 grand a week, yeah, I don't want him. Get rid of him." He's then gone, "Conor Gallagher, I don't want him. Asset. Take it. I don't want Trevor Chalobah. Another English asset. Sell him." Lukaku was already gone, but it's so strange. Like, I don't know who's making the decisions here. Is Maresca the one saying, he's obviously the one saying, "I don't want Raheem Sterling."
Yeah.
He's obviously the one allowing the likes of Conor Gallagher to go, but is he the one initiating it? Or is Todd Bowley doing it because he can get more money for English players?
I mean, yeah, because you need the homegrown, don't you?
Yeah, and he brought in, obviously, Dewsbury Hall, who, I'm not being funny, yeah, he's a good player, but he's not starting for Chelsea. Why has he left? I don't, for that one, I genuinely can't understand it.
This is one of the things, like, yeah, like you say, a lot of people leave for money. Like, they went to Chelsea for the money. But at the same time, as a footballer,
what do you want?
Where does the love of football get lost? And you go, "Do you know what? Actually, I want the money more." Like, maybe
you see it a lot though.
Yeah, you do, especially nowadays because the money's a lot bigger. But, I mean, obviously, I've never played high level. I've always played amateur. But my love for football has always been there. Do I think it would change with a certain amount of money? Probably, but probably not to the extent of where I go, "I want to sit on the bench."
But, yeah, it's not even an elite team. It's not even. So if you're sitting on the bench at Man City, like Scott Carson is, to pick up trophy after trophy after trophy, fill up my cabinet. Yeah. But when you go to Chelsea, that's very much a work in progress. Yeah, mid-20s, because Dewsbury Hall isn't a young man. He's not like early 20s. I mean, he's like 24, 25 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Might be older than that. That is still probably a young man, but he's not that young.
Footballing-wise.
Like he's not that young. Like you're not. The longevity is so. You're not going to be around by the time Chelsea do get back to where they want to be.
No,
because you're not. You're going to get 2 seasons there, and they're going to throw you out.
Yeah,
because you ain't getting in England there. You ain't getting in over Nkuku, Enzo, Lavia. These are all players they spent multi-million pounds. And yes, the manager likes you. But you're no better than the players that.
Is he going to like you enough to throw you in to the starting 11 on a Premier League?
And Chelsea have started the season well. Don't get me wrong. They have started well. In comparison to where I thought they'd be. But I'm not being funny. If you have some of the best players in every position, you throw them out onto the pitch, eventually something's going to click. It's going to start happening. Something's going to start working.
Yeah, of course.
And they've not got any injuries at the minute. No. Poch had a lot of injuries. I know it's an easy thing to say. I didn't think Poch was a very good manager for Chelsea. I don't think he was the right choice. I personally would have probably kept with Grandpa after the amount of money they put in to get him out of Brighton.
Yeah, I think that was too soon.
But I would have kept Tuchel. Tuchel.
Graham Potter was doing really well at Brighton, but I think he needed more time at Brighton to develop to be a better manager.
I don't know, because he'd done it at Osterstons in wherever he was before. Like he was developed and he had a coaching style. I don't think he was ready for something as established and as much of a shit show as Chelsea. But
he had to come in and he had to try and change Chelsea.
Exactly. Alternatively, though, the 2 jobs that he's been pipped for was Chelsea and Man United. They're 2 massive clubs in England.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Both are an absolute shithouse right now.
Yeah. You
don't know your arse from your elbow in that club. 1 minute you're walking in, you've got a whole boardroom. Hi Debbie, hi Susan. You come in next week, it's Steve and Graham.
Yeah,
They're just gone.
It's changed all the time. Yeah, I mean, So obviously your fan base is turned against you. I mean, I don't know what's happening to Old Trafford.
It's falling apart, mate. It's made out
I know.
of sticky tape and chewing gum.
But you would think that if the Glazers were interested in getting the fans back on side,
First thing they do.
you would get that stadium back up. Old Trafford is, in footballing terms, it is.
It's up there with Barnabao, San Siro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's not many stadiums that come above Old Trafford worldwide.
No, absolutely not. And yet they've just let it die.
It's decrepit and
It's like all the flooding from last season. Like that's. You're a fan. You're sitting there. You're watching your team, whether they're doing well or not.
yeah.
You want to feel good. Doesn't matter. Like, don't get me wrong. I've watched Watford lose. I know what it's like not to feel good when you're. But I tell you what does feel good is when we went to the FA Cup final. For the first 15 minutes, I mean, to be fair, I just thought we did well. But you're in a stadium that is grand and it's.
And the football should match it, and
Absolutely.
It should go hand in hand. Like
And
the club
I
should
do
match
think
the
that
stadium.
you play as well as the stadium you're in, as well as the fans that are behind you.
Look, Old Trafford used to be a fortress, right? I remember years gone by when I was a kid. West Ham went to Old Trafford. I knew they wouldn't get anything.
No.
I'd be happy if we had a shot on target.
Yeah.
And nowadays you have teams rolling up, scoring 2. Liverpool beating 3-0 with a whimper, and it could have been more.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a close game. Like
that is what's crazy, isn't it? Like it's almost like we were saying earlier. Football is. Yeah, I'm not saying it's dying out. I'm not. You know.
I think it is.
I'll always have a love for football. Like
yeah.
But in generations to come, it's all going to be just about the money. Like I just don't feel that.
I can't afford to go to the football anymore.
Oh God, no!
I can't go to West Ham because it costs too much.
No, I'm a championship watcher.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot more games that we can do. Like they've capped a lot of things. Like last season, it was £20 for an away ticket.
That's all right.
Which is great. Problem you've then got is all the outside things, trains, £120 to get up to Newcastle and things like that. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we are being the average man or woman, person, anyone goes to a football game because they love the game.
Yeah.
You don't go to a football game because it's a football game. You go because you love football, apart from tourists. But yeah, what I'm saying is we are being bought out. Yeah. Eventually, we won't be able to afford.
Well, it's now just it's based on tourists.
Yeah.
Football is tourism.
Younger generations will not go to football.
My youngest hasn't been to West Ham.
No, but you can't because you can't afford that ticket.
Yeah.
You can't try and run a family and take them down every Saturday or the odd Saturday, and then you go like the amount it costs to go and watch Man United, and yet none of that is reinvested in the stadium. Why would you pay that?
Well, this is what I was looking at. There was a stat on Sky the other day, and it was how much the Glazers have invested. No, they fucking haven't. Man United is one of the biggest revenues in football. So the money that they've put in has come out of the club. So they put their own money back into the club. It's not their money out of their pocket. They're the only owners in the Premier League that took dividends last year. I don't know how much it was, I'm not a United fan, but they took money out of the club even though they're still failing. Now, if you're Man City and you're winning everything, fair enough. It's still a bit shit. It's still scummy. But if you're Man United, a fan base that already dislikes you, already not happy with what's going on, you've not done a thing for them.
Nope.
You've lied about a sale because they done this weird bidding thing.
Yeah, well, they're going to have like was it Sir Ratcliffe?
Yeah, well, he's still there now. But he was going to buy it all, but now he just has a percentage. And Ineos, and it's just bizarre. Like, why are we as fans? Why do we have to see that? I'm not a United fan again. I'll keep saying it, but why are we having to endure that?
Yeah,
like,
that's nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
that's the business side of things.
When Abramovich had to sell Chelsea because of old Vlad,
Putin.
it was done within a week. It was just done.
Yeah.
So why did this take so long?
Most of it was behind closed doors.
Exactly.
That's because it involved the government.
Yeah.
The Glazers don't have to sell.
No.
I think that the only reason they came up with this sale that they had was because it almost brought the fans back on.
Yeah, well, that's what it was all a PR stunt. They had no intention of selling the whole thing.
No.
They never wanted to. They wanted to keep their sticky fingers in their biggest earner.
Yeah.
Which it might have been their biggest earner because they're like billionaires, but it's a massive earner for them.
Oh, I mean, they're not losing money.
Yeah, what was it? Billions they wanted. Was it 7 billion or something stupid they wanted for it? I don't know what it was. I wish I had that much money. I wouldn't buy United though because it's a shithole.
Yeah. I'd buy a smaller team.
I'd buy
for a smaller amount of money.
I wouldn't buy a football team, mate. That running cost would be phenomenal. On United quickly, I want to talk about him again because I cannot for the life of me. Please, if you can help me out. Why is Marcus Rashford playing 90 minutes? He's put in 2 crosses in 3 games, and he's playing for Man United in the left wing. Their best winger, Garnacho, he's happened to play on the right. He got 1 start. He's come off the bench twice. What kind of sinister stuff's going on behind? Because he doesn't get taken off. He doesn't play well. He's earning 350 grand a week.
I'll put it in terms of West Ham.
Yeah.
Antonio.
Nah.
Yeah. Marcus Rashford, when he was younger, before he got ruined by international football, because let's be honest, that's what ruined him. He started playing international football young, and we know that doesn't always work well because it's a lot of pressure for a young lad. Then he had almost what seemed like time off to do all the charity stuff that he was doing. Great, I love that. You know, and I'm fully supportive of him helping give back. You know, because he earned millions, he should be giving back. But at the same time, you're earning millions to do a job. At the moment, you're not doing that job. And I get you're running charity, things like that. That's great, but you can't run that charity if you don't earn millions. The reason that I think he is probably making the most money is because he's one of the biggest stars. It's like Ronaldo. When Ronaldo went back to Manchester United, everybody thought he was going to come back and play exactly the same way that he did before. What you have to understand is obviously he's older, his gameplay changes because he can't do what he used to be able to do. I mean, he's still a good player. Never dispute that.
Won't get to that today.
No, but I think with Rashford, it's because he is a superstar. Or
do you think he?
I don't think he deserved it.
Do you think he has this aura about himself where he thinks he's untouchable?
I just think he is untouchable.
Oh, but why? He's not even good at football. I wouldn't play him at West Ham. He wouldn't get into my team.
The thing is that he's been good.
Yeah, but you can't play someone based off past experiences.
Antonio. It's what I'll go back to.
Yeah, but it's not the same level. Antonio can get into the England squad. He's playing for Jamaica. And he plays for West Ham, with all due respect to us. Like, it's not the same level. Like, you can't... That's like Man United, Slaven Sancho, and playing him on the right wing, even though he's not had a game for him well since he turned up. You can't play players based on what they used to do.
No, and I do get it, especially at the levels that Man United...
Yeah, mate, it's Man United. It's the biggest club in England.
I think without Ten Hag, he goes.
But then it was the same with Ollie. It was the same with Mourinho. It was the same with all of them. They all play him.
But I think Mourinho got more out of him than... Ten Hag, I don't think he's brave enough.
Oh, he's gone. He's sacking himself, mate.
Yeah, no, but that is a whole other debate. But I think Man United star boy, the picturesque Man United is Marcus Rashford. He's done so much for charity and everything like that. It's almost like they give him the opportunity to do 90 minutes.
In the off chance he might do something half good and half not shit.
And because he's done loads for everyone else. He's a fan favourite. That's the problem.
But then on that, I think this does lean into Ten Hag a little bit more. Like Fernandes hasn't played well all season. So far. They've only been playing 3 games.
We'll talk about this halfway through the season and see what's different.
And I like Fernandes. As a footballer, I don't know him as a person, but in terms of
his attitude,
stuff outside of the actual footballing ability, I don't particularly like.
Good footballer.
But he took him off. Against Brighton.
Yeah.
So why is Rashford untouchable? Like, you've got Diallo came on for Garnacho, wrong sub. It should have been Rashford, moved Garnacho off to the left. But fair enough, you've done that. Then you've got Anthony again, not done much. That's your £80 million signing. You're still putting on the bench, not getting a minute. You're 3-0 down. There's no reason not to.
No, but was that Ten Hag signing?
Yeah, because he bought him from Ajax.
But what I mean is, was that Ten Hag saying I want him, or was it the Glazers going, let's make a big signing as a PR stunt that we're investing money?
I'd assume that he wanted him because he came from Ajax. Same with Martinez. But then the baffling thing there is you paid 8 million for Anthony. He was in the same team as Kudus, and Kudus is a far better footballer. Yeah. But obviously he knows more about Anthony than we do because he's seen him on the training pitch week in, week out.
And maybe that, again, maybe that's what it is with Rashford. Maybe on the training pitch, he's amazing. Obviously, like yourself, I'm not a Man United fan. I don't know if there are United fans out there that have seen behind the scenes training and things like that, and seen Rashford be the old player that he used to be.
But still, you've got to base it off performances in games, no?
Of course, absolutely you do. But then I wonder if, Ten Hag's trying to push himself out the door. I think trying to get that payout.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It looks that way.
It looks like he's gone right. I'm not going to get anything out of this team.
Well, you brought in my replacement as my second in hand in Ruben Nistelrooy. He's sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Like this.
He might as well be whispering in my ear.
Yeah.
Like, just do this so that you look shit.
So
Still I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that with Ten Hag's on his way out.
Managerial sack race. Who's winning it? It's got between Sean Dyche and Baldy.
I don't know if Everton will throw him away as quickly.
Russell Martin, Southampton as well might be up there.
To be honest, I think it's more likely to be Southampton, United. If Everton do it, then Everton. But Everton aren't really ones for sacking managers. They hold on, like they do hold on.
Yeah, I don't recall the last time we sacked a manager.
No, this is what I mean. It would have been obviously before. It was Rooney, wasn't it?
No, he wasn't their manager.
Oh no, he didn't come in as manager.
No.
I'm
trying to think. I don't recall. Yeah, no, it's a good point.
But I don't. Yeah, they're not. I mean,
Also-
could even be Chelsea.
Well, I would have said Enzo at the beginning of the season because just how much they love sacking managers.
Yeah.
But I think it's.
I think he's doing too good a job at the moment.
Yeah.
Think about
I
that.
think
But
I think by Russell Martin.
Russell Martin
be a
would
safe
probably
bet.
like if
After the national break, another couple losses, he's gone.
they're not looking at coming out of the relegation zone, they've got to change something. And realistically, as we know in football, it's always the manager.
Yeah,
Always
it's also results based. But
Yeah.
in Southampton, I don't think they're too happy with Russell Martin anyway. Like the fan base, there was rumblings last season because of poor performances at times.
Yeah,
Which seems strange.
it does. But at the end of the day, that's
You live and die by the sword, as they say.
that's football for you.
That is football. And on that note, mate, thank you for tuning in and thank you for partnering me.
Thank you for having me. I will.
We'll come back after the international break.
Yeah.
We've got a week of no football because it is fucking dog shit.
What you going on?
I hate it. Anyway, like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.